For the first time in a while, I'm not playing something meta. I actually tested, played, and happened to pull something quite incredible. And today, we're going to talk about Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai is a very all-gas, no-breaks kind of deck. There aren't a lot of spells that play on reaction or action, and a lot of this deck is built around a theory that I had that thankfully Challenger TCG played through and tested a lot more. I decided to opt for a difference in runes and a difference in a few creatures that made the deck more comfortable to me. So to start, something that I would consider changing, but I did enjoy up front, is I played 6. I played 6 Order Runes, and I played 6 Fury. This seems pretty standard. This seems pretty normal. When you see the rest of the cards, and when I display it on screen somewhere over here, you will understand that by the count, it looked pretty balanced. But I might consider playing more reds instead of a couple more yellows. Rek'Sai's legend is the Void Borrower. When you conquer, you may exhaust her to reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one and then recycle the rest. Now, just as a reminder, that doesn't mean you get to play the card for free. It does mean, though, you get to play it off the top of your deck, which is not from your hand and not from your graveyard. This comes up a lot more later. We're going to talk about our 3 battlefields first. We play Zon Warrens, we play Veiled Temple, and we play Arena's Greatest. Similar to Annie, this deck is a lot of going first and going fast. So Arena's Greatest gets you the points when you need to. Zon Warrens is your starting battlefield in most situations because when you conquer here, you discard one, then draw one. This is really useful for Phoenix, which is definitely in this deck. You should be playing Phoenix in this deck. You probably shouldn't play without it. I'm sorry the card has spiked, but it's a really good card. Veiled Temple. When you conquer here, you may ready a friendly gear. If it's an equipment, you may detach it. There aren't any equipments in this deck. The gears that are in here are the seals and a couple other things that we'll get to later. Let's start with the champion unit. So the champion unit is Rek'Sai Breacher. This is my beautiful, beautiful altar art that I pulled. She's a 3 cost. You can accelerate her by paying 1 in a red. She has Assault 1. Friendly units played from anywhere other than the player's hand have Accelerate. So this is peak for when you play something off the top of your deck. A monster comes in ready, basically ready to go, ready to run right into the battlefield. You can play her as early as turn 1, especially if you're going second. Amazing card with an amazing almost condition or enchantment style condition that benefits the rest of the deck in your favor. Another beautiful card that we happen to pull is this Seal of Rage. Oh my goodness, look at this over number. What a beautiful card. We didn't get that many, so it just adds to the 2 other Seal of Rages that I have. So you're playing 3 Seal of Rage. This is great for a lot of the accelerates, a lot of the spells. You didn't neg a lot because you don't make a lot of treasures or a lot of tokens. So you end up using these reds a lot more than you think. You play 3 so you can see them. I opted to play 2 Blood Rush. Blood Rush was great. I considered playing 3 of this. Rek'Sai's biggest problem is that she can't get over big monsters, so Aurelia or Ornn, things that like to kinghold. And realistically, if you repeat this, which is good, it doesn't cost you extra power. It gives you the benefit of getting big when you need to. Most of this is spells first, and then we'll grab the units. Piercing Light. I play 3 Piercing Light. Piercing Light, my least favorite thing about Piercing Light is that it's not an action or a reaction. It's fine for a card that does what it does. Deal 2 to a unit in a battlefield, then deal 2 up to 1 other unit anywhere, which means you can hit base with this card. It's fine. That means you can deal up to 4. It's pretty okay. I like it as a main staple card that requires 1 power that does the job. It gets rid of 2 cost units, but in decks like even Kaisa, I don't see the value of this card because it's just not an action. The signature spell, we got Void Rush. Reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one of them, reducing its cost by 2. Draw any you did not play this way. What a great card. Insane value. I don't know why they keep printing signature spells that are less than 3 energy and 1 mixed power. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. I guess because they're consistent and only have to be in the decks that you play with the legend, but man, these cheap spells and cheap cards and cheap gears just blow me away with how valuable they are. You can do a lot of things with this card. You can play Noxus Hopefuls for free. You can lower the cost of Darius. You can do a lot more, and you get a draw. It's just, I don't know, what more could you want in a signature spell? This is one of the gears we play. It's not necessarily an equipment, but it's a beautiful card. I would not be playing Rek'Sai without Sundisk. I spent a lot of time talking to my friends about this theory, and Legion, giving something Legion is just nuts because you're always tapping out, you're always playing more than one card. Realistically, everything is relatively cheap in the deck. This is insane for giving things accelerate or making them ready when you need them. If you don't have Rek'Sai, this is another copy of that, and it's on a gear that you can tap once per turn. Nuts. One of my favorite red cards that made it through set 1 all the way into set 2, we play 3 copies of Falling Star. Falling Star, I mean, it got a small nerf because of the way that they handle reflexive triggers, but as of right now, it still does 3 to a unit twice. Realistically, you need to get rid of something big. You're going to pay reds for it. You have the seals for the reds. What more could you ask for? Get rid of big bodies, get rid of Ferrero Rocher, as I like to call him, or the Ferris Forerunner, which also is in this deck. Rek'Sai's biggest enemy is Ferris Forerunner or Ferrero Rocher, and Ferrero Rocher shall be no longer when a Falling Star hits it. Next, part of the removal, we actually played 3 Call of the Week and 2 Hidden Blades. I didn't like Hidden Blade that much. I do like it. I do like getting rid of other people's cards. I do like Call of the Week more because it evens the playing field. Oftentimes you have a lot of creatures, or you have a few creatures and they have a bigger creature and you want to just get rid of it without hitting it with something. Opting for them to sacrifice the creature is way more. Hidden Blade is great for when you are holding a battlefield and you need to hide something there. It does give them 2 draw, but realistically you're winning an advantage more than you are losing. So I don't mind giving that to them. Now we're into the monsters. I love my 2 drops. Honest Broker, what an amazing card. You can sack this off of your own Hidden Blades or your Call of the Week. It's a given you'll probably sack this off your Call of the Week. It gives you a gold token exhausted. It gives you that power that you can use for Falling Star or any of the other creatures. What more could you ask for? What a great 2 drop. I'm surprised they made this a 2/2 with a death knell. I would think this is more like a Sentry where it would be a 2/1, but great card, honestly, wonderful card. This is the 2/1 that you would play instead of Sentry. Death Knell, channel 1 Rune Exhausted. It's not a draw, but it does channel you a card. It speeds up the game for you. Soaring Scout is a great card. I'd play it at 3 every time. This I had a little bit more trouble with deciding on, but I like my 2 drops at 8. We have Daring Poro with Assault 1. Realistically, again, it's for your going first turns. It's for going forward into them. It's for attacking people. Play this card. It's a great card. And of course, the Immortal Phoenix. We play 3 of these. I even have one from China from the box that we pulled well before we even opened Riftbound cards. Immortal Phoenix has Assault 2. When you kill a unit with a spell, you may pay 1 and a power to play her from the trash. If you have a seal and 1 energy. Realistically, you're always going to have this. Immortal Phoenix, you can sprint into other things. You can let this creature die. It'll climb to 5 and take care of a lot of the battlefields for you. It'll get you that conquer point when you want to trigger Rek'Sai's legend ability. It's a great card in this deck. It's not an amazing card in any other deck, so don't try to fill without it. Get these from your friends, borrow them if you can. They're not worth the $60 unless Rek'Sai has an amazing run this weekend in Bologna. So I would either borrow, try to play the deck, try to enjoy the deck. Immortal Phoenix makes the deck way more fun. One of my favorite red cards that somehow survived and plays in a lot of decks, Nexus Hopeful. With a Legion that drops its cost to 2 less, it's a 2 drop that's a 4. What a great card. And by giving it Legion and Accelerate, imagine if you had the gear. This card just goes in on when it wants to, realistically, and it's the best version of this card is when he's swinging. As you see in Draven, you put a Spinning Blade on him or a Spinning Axe on him and he becomes a 7 might. In this deck, you can Blood Fury it. It's a great card. It's a great staple. Definitely should be playing this in this deck. This is where things got a little tricky because I didn't opt for a difference in runes and I didn't want to play a token maker. I ended up playing this because I thought it was a bigger body that could climb. I thought it was a great Spiritforged card, realistically, under Titan. When you play me, give your other units +2 this turn. As I'm revealed from your deck, add 2. I thought that was cool and fundamental for the Rek'Sai deck. I thought playing it at 1, I never saw it. I didn't dig often enough. I thought playing it at 2 means you could see it every now and then. I think it was better than Grand Stratagem, but if you're playing more of a token variant version, you could definitely play Grand Stratagem instead with this particular rune lineup. If I were to put more reds in, I'd keep this at 2. I'd cut the yellows down a little bit, and I'd still have room to play this because it only demands 1 yellow power instead of Grand Stratagem, which requires 3. Last, we have 2 Ferrero Rocher. This card is so annoying for a lot of decks because it's a 6/6. When it dies, it makes 2 3-Might mechs. It's so sticky. It creates a lot of monsters. Honestly, use this to swing into other Ferrero Rochers because what more could you ask for? If this comes in accelerated, the fact that it's not an accelerate red means that, like, it didn't need to be, right? So in this deck, you can give it accelerate and just go swinging with a 6-drop. Give it Blood Fury. Give it a bunch of other benefits that it didn't necessarily come with. And I think that's what makes the card really good and useful in this deck. And it's a great red card. Good high drop red. Finally, let's get into the side deck cards. This is relatively a normal side deck. It includes similar staples like Thundersong. Brynhir Thundersong is great because it's not necessary that it comes in ready, but the card itself late game can prevent them from stopping you doing a double conquer, or it can stop them from playing cards to prevent you from winning the game. And that's why I like this card. I like this card in this deck specifically. I still have yet to decide whether I like it in Draven, but because it's a staple currently in the meta, you want to play this card in the red deck. Next, we have 2 Dariuses. This was another 2-drop side for when you wanted to be more aggressive. The thing that was different about Yellow-Red Darius and now Yellow-Red Rek'Sai is that Rek'Sai utilizes the ability to play things off the top of your deck a lot more than playing it just naturally. Now, Darius is a great card. It's fun. It plays in Kai'Sa, it plays in Draven, it plays in all the decks that I normally would play. And I think that the +2 Might plus Blood Fury with all the other cheap cards give Darius the ability to come in +2 and ready way more often. And I think I would opt to play this card in the main deck more if I had more room. But right now, I think the main deck is almost to a T perfect. You would side this in matchups with, like we mentioned, with the King of the Hill matchups. So you'd side this in against Aurelia or Ornn or even Ahri if you still see Ahri. I would side this in with a lot of matchups that have a lot of might on battlefield and you need to just like chomp it down, or you just need to swing at it. That's what I would side this in for. Salvage is a great card in the meta. It gives you a draw. You can pick a specific gear and destroy it. It's an action. You side this in probably into Draven, into Lucian, into Azir. Speaking of Draven and Azir, Lucian, and Azir, we also play 2 Thermal Beam. I love this card. It's kill all gear, so it kind of like scuffs your seals up. I haven't seen it or its active use, but I know into Azir's, it's a game ender. Into Lucian, it's a game ender. Fiora, not so much, but it's great for baited hook. Both of these gear removals I think is necessary for this deck because there aren't, like I said, a lot of action or reaction spells. So having them in the side and bringing them out for the matchups is way more beneficial than playing them naturally in your main. And that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm happy to do some gameplay of this list and show it off against decks like Sivir, Ezreal, other things you don't naturally see it with. I performed with it a few times at Nexus Night and tested with a few friends, and I'm really happy with this list. I was eager to play all the alt arts that I did end up picking up. She's a beautiful card. She does a lot of cool fancy tricks. Immortal Phoenix does the job when you need it to, so if you want, give my list a shot and let me know what you guys think, and if there's any changes you would make, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.